in the pregame show, what exactly do you mean by when you compliment Rick Barnes and talk about the way his teams play? And my guys, I'm sure you heard it from either Miles or, from Janai, but our guys really respected that team. Even after the game, they knew they had a great win because they knew they beat a great team. Those are some of the best guards we're going to face. Those guys don't take possessions off defensively. Catches were difficult. Shots were contested. They turned us over, 11 times, and they were all almost forced. I'm sure that wasn't a very pretty game on national television because it was so difficult to score. I knew it was going to be low scoring. I knew that offense was going to be difficult. But Rick Barnes' teams play the right way. They play the right way. They don't take possessions off. They don't beat themselves. I think at the end of the game, both teams were exhausted, absolutely exhausted. So who, through that exhaustion, could maybe make a shot or make a play? I thought Miles Kelly had a couple big shots for us in the second half. Tahad came in there and gave us a little spark offensively, which he obviously does. And I just want to thank my trainers and my doctors and Janai Broom for living in the training room for 2 weeks. I did not think he was going to come back tonight in the middle of the week. And then even here the day before, I knew he wanted to go. I didn't think he was going to be able to be effective. And he had a triple-double tonight. 16 points, 13 rebounds, and he missed 12 shots. But I think the team really respected their leader, for putting it on the line, and obviously, I don't know that we win if he doesn't come back. Just when you think that Neville Arena can't be any louder, or we can't have a better game day experience, or we can't do a better job of college game day here, guys, the Auburn athletic staff worked overtime to make this event possible. And my staff and I are grateful for our athletic director and his staff and the marketing staff, and just there's a lot of work that goes into this. And College Game Day leaves here and they basically say nobody does it better. How about that? I just want to thank the students again for showing up and turning out, and I'm glad they got treated. Last thing is, we've won 4 games now in the last possession. In the last 6, 4 of the last 6. Last year we had 20 wins by double digits. And so whether this team is better or not, or whatever we are, this league is better. And so it's going to be a battle every night. But we are happy with this one because that's a great team.
All right, we'll go with Ferg and then Jacob.
Bruce, Miles said as soon as that shot left his hands, he knew it was going in. You were right in front of it. Did you think it was going in?
Yeah, no doubt. I had no doubt it was going in. Absolutely no doubt. And neither did anybody in this building, neither did any of his teammates. He hit a big shot coming off a pin down too, about 5 or 6 minutes earlier. So offense was tough.
Bruce, you're up by 2. Tennessee calls a timeout with 9 seconds to play. Did you expect them to draw up a 3 in the corner for Sakai? What was kind of the thought on that?
Yeah, we had Maddox Jeffries is my director of basketball operations, but like many on our staff, they play multiple roles. Maddox is in charge of special teams, under basket out of bounds situations, both offensively, defensively, side out of bounds situations, offensively, defensively, and pressure sets. And if you want to look at one of the areas I think people compliment our basketball program on, is that we're good in special teams, special situations. And Maddox really studies that. He had to play drawn up and huddle. They ran exactly what we thought we would run. Now, taking whatever away, obviously they drove down the slot. Chene got vertical. There was contact. I have to look at it. But he made a heck of a defensive play, and tough twos were tough to come by
Right,
at both ends.
Tony, and then Henry, raise your hand.
Coach, we talk about moving, now 6-0 in conference play. We understand the SEC as a whole. Each week, anybody can bring their best game, especially against y'all. Just kind of talk about that peak moment going the game in the game out, even in these close ones.
Yeah, I just don't think you can get too high or too low. I think the big key is you just can't get too high or too low. I talked to the team a lot tonight about how we would have felt if we lost. We have not felt the pain of losing in a while, right? When was the last game we lost? Duke?
Kentucky.
Who?
Well, sorry, here at home with Kentucky.
I mean, when was the last game we lost this year? When we play them? Early December? In a while, so, and we don't like, we're obviously not gonna like what that tastes like, but it's gonna happen. And it obviously almost happened tonight. So we've got to get better. I've got to do a better job. I've got to do a better job. The book is out on everybody. Why was it so difficult to score? We know what they do. They know what we do. We put our players in good positions. They put their players in good positions. What's plan B? What's plan C? And we got to come up with it.
Right, Henry and then Jack in the back.
Bruce, you all held Janai and Chene here to a combined 8 of 16 8 of 26 from the field. What was working for y'all defensively against them?
Well, Ziegler plays the whole game virtually. So at the end of the day, it's just a battle of attrition. They ask him to do a lot. He has to do a lot. I think the biggest thing would be, now he still had 5 assists and 1 turnover. Incredible. Just incredible. And Chaz Lanier's a guy you can't leave. You just got to make him put the ball down the floor, and you got to arrive on a catch. And he made a couple, which was scary. But he had to work so hard defensively also. Meshack had to work so hard defensively. Everyone, our guys are exhausted. I told our guys before the game, I said, you're gonna be more tired after this game than any game we play all year long. Because Tennessee, if you're gonna guard them, you're gonna wear yourself out guarding them. But at the same time, we didn't have the kind of energy we needed to execute offensively either.
Right, Jack and then Nathan in the front.
Coach, you talk about winning the pretty games and winning the games by, big margins, but this one was down and dirty, low scoring. How important is it for the team to experience a game like this and come out on top?
Well, I mean, we've won some close games now, and so I think we can learn, something from them. I know we can play better. So I think, look, I give Tennessee all the credit for how poorly we played at times. But the good thing is our guys are all feeling good, like knowing, man, we can play better. And we still were able to beat a great team. I think they've got to feel good about themselves.
Right, Nathan in the front and then Jerry in the front.
First, you mentioned how physical it was and kind of taxing for both teams. What was your message to them? You guys are down with 4 minutes left in that huddle in particular, and I guess you got 10 seniors on this team. Did you see them kind of step up and provide that energy?
No, I don't know exactly. With 4 minutes left, and we needed stops. We need to continue to, remind them that we're in position in spite of all the things that have gone wrong. We're right where we want to be. We're just right where we want to be. We got to get a couple stops and get a couple rebounds and knock down a couple shots, as simple as it is. I don't think they never panicked.
Bruce, any thoughts on what happened with Janai Howard after the start of the second half?
No, he had a rotation out there, and I don't think he felt great about his rotation. But we had a conversation, and we had another conversation after the game, and he'll be fine.
Coach, ahead of this matchup, you mentioned how tough it was going to be on the boards tonight. Do they execute that, you think? Toughest on the glass? Do you think your team did that?
Well, I mean, they only had 10 offensive rebounds, and we had 26 defensive rebounds. So that's a great percentage, considering you're playing that team. And we had 15 offensive rebounds. So, we won the battle of the boards against a great rebounding team, and that was a factor. I would just say that our guys, we always respect Tennessee. Our individual players walked away really respecting their individual players. There were some really hard matchups out there. The game was physical, but it was clean.
Right, both Joes in the middle. Joe Goodman and then, Joe.
Yeah, Bruce, did you anticipate playing Janai this much? Was it kind of like wait and see? Did you have a number in mind going
I
in?
thought maybe 20 minutes, maybe. definitely didn't see him playing this much, without, absolutely.
Is there a conversation in there where he's like, you know?
He was fine. I mean, he was fine. He was able to go. He was able to go. And he was not at any risk for injury, but he hasn't practiced in 2 weeks. What was his conditioning gonna be like? So I was anticipating him playing, just 20 minutes, but he's a National Player of the Year candidate. He is arguably the best player on the floor every time he takes the floor in this league.
All right, Trevor, and then BMAT, did you have one? Oh, okay.
Just building off of that, I mean, just to see Janai battle back like he did, play through pain with the big taped ankle, I mean, what did that kind of do for the rest of the guys on the roster to see their senior leader out there like that, battling through what he did?
I mean, the big kid for Tennessee is a great shot blocker, and he just did what he knew he had to do against Okapar, and I just bury him in there deep and not let him use his length. And we got some really good inside touch on our basket OBs. We had some really good insides. Needed every one of them. But I think what Chene did with his rehab all week and living with the trainers and the doctors and being able to come out and just affect winning so much. He just affects winning. All he cared about was winning. So I think as a leader, it's another statement.
All right, 2 more, Tony, and then to end.
Coach, going off that, is it still too early to tell if Janai will be back in the starting lineup now, or will be a game-to-game basis?
Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back. Yeah.
Bruce, can you talk about Chene's playing this game, especially in a game where you had, your guards weren't hitting as many shots, but he had some tough buckets. Some
Yeah, he
stops
sure
on
did.
him.
We thought Chene had a real inside advantage. We really did. And he had those 5 2-point buckets, and those 2-point buckets were hard to come by. We felt like we had some advantages on the front line. I wouldn't, if you looked at the stat sheet and told me our guards were going to shoot like that tonight, I'd say there's no chance we win, because our guards have shot brilliantly all season long. And for really, truly, none of our guards to shoot a good percentage, it's all the credit goes to Tennessee for the way they defended. But believe it or not, I expect a lot from Chene. I think Chene's really good. I think Chene's better than he thinks he is. So he did really well tonight. He did. Honestly, he could do better. Like he could do better. Wait till Chene Johnson starts knocking down threes. And I'm calling it. Like I'm calling it right now. Wait till Chene Johnson starts knocking down. He can do it. And I do think we need him to start doing it to beat the best teams in our schedule.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.